Okay, everyone, I think we're ready for today's class. Today we're going to start standing up. And if you have something close by, like some props, bolster, blanket, pillows, chair, or a couch, we're going to use lots of props here in the second half of our class today. And today's class is inspired by the snow day that we've had here where I live in Minneapolis. I was looking out the window and I saw so many people shoveling, and I just was imagining all the different muscles that get so tired after shoveling on a snow day. So today's class is just inspired by that. We're starting standing. You can bring your hands to your body somewhere if you like, or just let them hang down by your sides. I find that it's nice to have one hand kind of on my belly and one hand kind of on my chest, but you can do whatever strikes your fancy. And you might close your eyes here. Just start to find your breath and notice your body. You're noticing any tiredness or tension anywhere? Are you noticing any expansive feelings, pleasant sensations? Just getting an overall general sense here of how you're feeling, what you're feeling, where you're feeling it. And as you breathe, you might want to find a little bit of a swaying motion, only if that feels natural to you. Just finding our awareness in the body, sometimes with a little swaying motion can feel a bit easier. And taking a few more nice deep breaths. Breathing in, feeling the belly expand. And breathing out, finding your way back to the moment we're in. And if you'd like to set a dedication or intention for your practice today, feel free to call your sankalpa or your intention. If you're working with one more long term, you can always bring that in, or just choose a word or short phrase for the day. And then we'll take 3 clearing breaths together. We'll inhale through the nose and sigh through the mouth. Keep going. 2 more here at your own pace. And finding your steady rhythm of breath again as you slowly blink your eyes open and lower your hands down. I'm just going to find a little bit of a shake right away here. So just kind of shaking your arms out, shaking your legs out a little bit. You might kind of lift and lower your heels a couple of times and just kind of let everything shake out however it feels right for you. And then eventually we'll turn this shaking into willow tree pose, just letting your arms kind of dangle like a willow tree blowing in the wind. And let your arms be nice and heavy here with a gentle knock on your torso as your body, or as your hands just gently find your body side to side. And if you tend to get dizzy easily, I suggest just keeping your gaze straight ahead. But if you don't get dizzy easily and you want to go a little farther, you might turn and look in the direction you're twisting, making this your own. And eventually slowing back down, coming to center. If your feet were out wide, maybe toe heeling them just a little bit farther, closer together. With your inhale, let's reach the arms around and up overhead, joining your palms at the top. And exhale, bring your hands down to heart center with a little tuck of your chin. Inhale, hands go high, interlace your fingers at the top, and then exhale, bring your hands to the back of your head. Keep breathing like normal here as you kind of lean back into your hands, widening out the elbows, feeling some expansion through the chest, maybe a little stretch through the shoulders, little back bend perhaps. Coming up to a more neutral place now, we're going to find a little side bend to the right. So that right elbow is lowering, but more so we're thinking about lifting that left shoulder up, pressing more into that left foot, finding your side bend to the right. At some point, switching sides, take your time. Left elbow down, right elbow reaching up. Pressing more into that right foot, find your side bend. Coming back up to the top here, taking an inhale as you lift your hands straight up, and then exhale, lower your arms down, giving them a little shake if you like. All right, if you have to grab any props for later, grab them now because we are about to head down to the floor. But first, let's find a halfway lift position. Just sliding your hands down your thighs. See if you can pull your shoulder blades back and down, and notice if you can get a stretching feeling through the hamstrings and the back of your legs. So we're kind of puffing the chest up and looking straight down toward the floor. Our halfway lift. I like to have a little micro bend in my knees here. I can still really feel a nice stretch through the hamstrings. And then when you're ready, ragdoll pose is next. Letting your upper body here hang kind of loose. Make sure you're breathing here and maybe add a little bit of a sway. You can pedal your legs out if you like, or just be still. Nodding your head yes, and then shaking your head no. Letting gravity help create some space and length through your neck, through the upper back. With an inhale, let's halfway lift one more time. So just sliding your hands right back up your legs. And then with your exhale, lower your hands down. We're going to step the feet back to our tabletop position. So coming down to your knees, hands will be just below the shoulders, knees below your hips. Take an inhale as you lower your belly and start to lift your gaze and your tailbone, finding cow pose. And exhale, round your spine up, tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone, find cat pose. Continue on now in your own way, inhaling to cow, eventually exhaling to cat. You're welcome to add on other movements, maybe a little twisting through the shoulders or the hips. You might choose to go a little deeper in one of your cat poses with your chin kind of tucking down. If you just pause with your back arching up, and then maybe let your right ear come toward your right shoulder, and then left ear toward your left shoulder a couple times. See if that feels nice on your neck. If not, just keep flowing a few more times through cat and cow. Whenever you've had enough, let's find our way to extended child's pose. We'll bring our knees out wide toward the edges of the mat, big toes touching behind you. You could sink your seat toward your heels if that feels okay. Otherwise, you might grab some pillows and bring them between the thigh and the calves behind you so you have a little cushion to sit on. Otherwise, you can just lower the upper body here. So finding your way to a comfortable extended child's pose. Maybe you come down to rest on your forearms. Maybe you walk your hands out toward the top of your mat and then sink your head and heart down toward the floor. Make sure that your knees are wide enough apart that you really have enough room for your belly. As you breathe in, let your belly expand and take up space. As you exhale, soften everything toward the floor. Let's have about 3 more breaths here. When you're feeling ready, come on up to tabletop and then lower right down to your belly. We'll do just 2 baby cobras today. So hands will come next to the chest, tucking your shoulder blades back and down, hugging your shoulders and your elbows in toward your sides. Press through the tops of your feet a lot so your knees start coming up a bit. With your inhale, rising up to your baby cobra, head and chest lifting. And exhale to lower. Just 1 more like that. We're inhaling to lift. And then exhale to lower on down. From here, we're going to set up our first kind of shorter restorative pose. So let your hands stack underneath your head or your forehead here. You could grab a pillow or a blanket. If that feels better, you're going to kind of snuggle up with your blanket or pillow or stacking your head on your hands. Start to bend your right knee and slide the right thigh over toward the right edge of your mat. This is half frog pose. So the inside of that right calf, the inside of your right foot, inside of the right thigh, touching the floor there. Your choice how much of a bend you have in that knee. If you have, if you've had any kind of abdominal surgeries or injuries and this doesn't feel good to you, you might choose to just rest in crocodile pose with your legs straight and your forehead resting on your hands, kind of a symmetrical pose. Otherwise, you might turn your gaze toward the right and rest that left side of your head on your hands or your pillow. We'll be here for a little bit here, so you're to scan through your body, and if you find any over-efforting or any unnecessary tension, keep working to soften your body, letting your body have a good rest. If getting extra cozy is your thing, you can always kind of have a blanket pulled up over you throughout this class now. So maybe grabbing something for over top of you if that feels good. Otherwise, just continue to rest. Just a gentle opener here, hip opener. Taking about 3 more breaths or so. And then no rush at all as you eventually start to switch sides. Eventually straightening that right leg, sliding it back down to meet your left leg. And turning your gaze over toward the left side as you start to bend that left knee and slide your left leg out toward the left side of your mat now. Adding any additional cushioning or props underneath your chest or underneath your head. You're not having a great experience. See if you can add or subtract a couple of things until you feel a little better. Try to be aware of the flow of your breath throughout this relaxation. As you scan your awareness in no particular order, just around the body, checking in, dissolving any unnecessary tension that you might find. Kind of has a way of creeping on in, creeping back in, for me at least. So continuing to check for it and releasing more, surrendering more to rest. Just 3 more breaths. You're always welcome to stay longer if you want. Eventually sliding and straightening that left leg back down, turning your head to the center of your mat. Pull your hands down on either side of your chest and slowly rise up to tabletop. If you want another child's pose, go ahead and find your way in a child's pose. If you want to take a downward dog or any other poses, now is your time. We're gonna get even more restful here in just a few moments. So any kind of movement that feels good, just getting that in here quick before moving along. Downward dog, child's pose, something else. And then coming back up, we'll find a seat here as we set up our second restorative pose. I'm going to use a bolster here, but you can always substitute a bolster for some pillows or a stack of blankets. We'll have some kind of something with a little bit of height here. This is where our back will go. I like to have an extra bit of height underneath my head, so I'm just putting a blanket on top there. And then we'll turn so your low back is up at your props. If you have yoga blocks, you could bring them up by your knees here. And I'll go through the straight leg version here first. So when you're ready, just slowly lowering your back onto your stack of props, making sure your pillow under your head is in the right place. For a lot of people, keeping your legs straight like this can be the most restful. Other options would be to find constructive rest legs, bending your knees and standing your feet up at the edges of your mat, and then letting your knees come together at the center. If you want a little bit more of a continuing on our hip opener vibe, you could bring the soles of your feet together and then tuck your props underneath your knees as you let your legs kind of go out to the sides. So try a few different variations, letting your arms find their way. Sometimes it's nice to have them out wide. Sometimes it's nice to have your elbows resting on the floor and then your hands kind of resting on your low rib cage. If you happen to have an eye pillow, now would be a good time, or whenever you're getting comfortable, now would be a good time to place something over your eyes, just so you can really Not even have to focus on keeping your eyes closed. If you're at all chilly now, you'll want to grab a blanket to put up over you. So we spend a little bit of time here getting into the pose, and then we'll be here for a while. So I'm going to go ahead and start a little bit of music here. And you just enjoy your rest. big breath here. And removing your eye pillow if you had one over your eyes. If your knees are out wide, slowly helping your knees back up to the center. You can keep your eyes closed as you do this if you want. I'm just going to start to turn over onto one side, just enough so you can get yourself up enough to slide your props to either side here for a moment, and then just lay right back down. Pull your knees in toward your chest and start to find some nice massaging pressure over the low back and the sacrum, circling your knees in both directions at some point. Maybe straightening your legs for a moment or circling out your ankles. Add in any little extra movements that come to mind. And like you're moving in sleep, we will set up our next restorative pose. Just roll to either side, press your way up. We're gonna want a pillow for under the head, and then legs will be up on a chair here. If you know that you love legs up the wall, you're welcome to bring your legs up the wall. But if you have high blood pressure or glaucoma or any concerns about the intensity of having legs all the way up, I love the variation of legs on a chair. You're just going to scoot pretty close to your chair or couch or ottoman. Just do your best to get your calves there up on your chair. Sliding your blanket or pillow underneath your head. Making sure that eye pillow is close by again if you plan to use it. And you could bring a blanket up and over top of you. Sometimes it's nice to hug a pillow here or have some extra cushioning underneath your arms. So just take your sweet time here, tucking yourself in, wrapping yourself up in a blanket if you like. And once you're nice and cozy, bringing that eye pillow up over your eyes. We will be here for a few minutes, a little bit longer maybe than the last one, so just settle in. I am minding the time. You just mind to your breath and your rest. to your fingers and your toes. Slowly removing your eye pillow if you had one on the eye. And if your legs are up on a chair or something you can press against, or the wall, you might just kind of press against that and scoot your way into your final Shavasana pose. Just making your way into a flat lying pose if you like. I really enjoy having something extra under my knees, maybe a blanket up over you, bringing that eye pillow back on your eyes if you like. Any other little adjustments so you feel just as cozy and comfy as you can. You might take a different arm position this time, maybe interlacing your fingers and resting your head in your hands. Kind of that same position we were in earlier, doing some side bends. Taking no shortcuts for your comfort. Placing that eye pillow on top of your eyes if you are feeling settled. And committing to this last pose here, our final rest. Shavasana, corpse pose. Letting your body come to a state of sleepiness while your mind remains aware and awake, but in a very peaceful state. If your mind is very active or distracting, there are options, maybe really listening in to the song that's playing. Or maybe counting your breaths, keeping your awareness on the belly as you deeply breathe in and out. That rise and fall of the belly or chest. Another anchor that you might find, perhaps a sensation of air in and out of your nose. You deserve this rest. slowly out to the sides, or just be how they are. No need to hold yourself up here. Let your props do the work. Continue. Sink deeper into state rest. Taking about 3 last breaths. And know that you are welcome to stay. Just continue your rest for as long as you like. If you are becoming ready to reawaken, start with a gentle wiggle of your fingers and toes. Maybe let your head roll side to side. Maybe your eye pillow just kind of falling to either side naturally. You might open and close your jaw, swallow, or yawn. Maybe taking a long body stretch, reaching fingers and toes in opposite directions. Of course, sprinkling in any other frills muscles you want to add. And then choose a side and roll into the fetal position with your knees slightly tucked in. Maybe your pillow or your bottom arm could be beneath your head. Take one more really enjoyable, lovely breath in and out here. Soaking in those last bits of rest. And then when you're ready, use the help of your arms and hands to press your way up to a comfortable seat. We will join hands in front of the heart center. Take your time. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and be free, and may our own thoughts, words, and actions somehow contribute to that happiness and freedom for all. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Together bringing thumbs up to third eye center, and together closing class with a little bow forward in gratitude. Peace.